indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, insists that the May 30th sit-at-home remains sacrosanct across the southeast and that every resident in the zone should stay at home in commemoration of Biafra Heroes Day. Spokesperson Emmanuel Powerful stated that all social activities in Biafra land are banned. Hi, welcome to What's Happening. Here are the top 10 stories. At number 1, the Senate and House of Representatives will hold a joint session Wednesday, May 29th to mark 25 years of uninterrupted democracy in the country. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as special guest, will be delivering a speech at the joint session titled State of the Nation. Magaji Tambawal, clerk of the National Assembly, revealed this in a statement. Also expected at the sitting are Vice President Kashim Shettima, Abdurrahman Abdulrazak, Governor of Kwara State and Chairman of the Nigerian Governors Forum, Hope Uzodinma, Governor of Imo State, and George Akume, Secretary to the Government of the Federation. Former Head of State Abdusalami Abubakar will also deliver a paper on reflections on the journey to democracy. Organized Labour Tuesday rejected the government's latest offer, the fourth proposal in about 2 weeks since negotiations and talks resumed. Organized Labour, comprising the Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC) and the Trade Union Congress (TUC), rejected the offer of the federal government to pay 60,000 naira as the new minimum wage. Organized Labour also shifted grounds from its 497,000 naira stance last week to 494,000 naira. Prominent member of the tripartite committee for the negotiations of the new minimum wage for Nigerian workers told Channels Television that the federal government and organized private sector side of the talks proposed a 60,000 naira monthly minimum wage as against the 57,000 naira they proposed last week when the committee last met. At number 3, the Senate Tuesday passed for third reading a bill seeking to reintroduce the old national anthem. This came after considering a report by Tahir Mongono, chairman of the Judiciary Committee. Mongono said his committee disagrees with the position of Lateef Fagbemi San, Attorney General of the Federation, that the process to change the anthem should be subjected to a wider process. The proposed bill is important, the senator said. Thereafter, the Senate considered clauses of the bill and passed it last week. Last week, the House of Representatives passed the bill speedily, but it only secured second reading at the Senate. Majority of the lawmakers in both chambers of the National Assembly spoke in favor of the bill when they debated on its general principles. At number 4, the senator representing PDP Delta North, Ned Nwoko, has criticized the recent sack of 317 workers of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, and urged the Senate to investigate the purge. Nwoko said the lack was too hasty, hence the need to probe the circumstances around it. He alleged that the Apex Bank did not consult with relevant stakeholders, including labor unions, before the exercise. Nwoko expressed fears that the principles of fairness and justice might have been compromised in the exercise. Recall that no fewer than 200 officials of the Central Bank of Nigeria were Friday relieved of their duties, adding to the long list of ongoing disengagements in the Apex Bank. This adds to the list of 117 staff sacked by the bank between March 15th and April 11th, 2024. The sack letter signed by Human Resources Department on May 24th, 2024 of the CBN stated that the policy was to reorganize the organization for more effective operations. At number 5, the president of the Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, Joe Ajaero, has called for better pay, insurance coverage, and pensions for journalists across the country. Ajaero made the call when he visited the president of the Nigeria Union of Journalists, Dr. Chris Isiguzo, in Abuja. He explained that while journalists play significant roles in the fight for independence and the current democracy Nigerians are enjoying, it is unfortunate that the same people are begging for their salaries to be paid. The Labour leader said that although the standards of journalism have fallen short, technology has enhanced the practice. Ajaero stressed that non-payment of a journalist's salary should not be encouraged and should be treated as a criminal offence. The indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, insist that the May 30th stay-at-home order remains sacrosanct across the southeast and that every resident in the zone should stay at home in commemoration of Biafra Heroes Day. The IPOB had earlier directed the West Africa Examinations Council, WAEC, and the authorities of Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka, to shift their respective engagements earlier scheduled for the day, while declaring the day as a day to celebrate its fallen heroes during the civil war between 1967 and 1970. The pro-Biafran group, in a statement signed by its spokesman, Emma Powerful, Tuesday said the remembrance of all those who fought for Biafra freedom and sovereignty remains imperative, and no government or security agency has any authority to harass innocent persons during the event. Powerful stated that all social activities in Biafra land are banned. At number 7, Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Oyetola, says the ministry recorded a revenue of 242 billion naira in the first quarter of 2024. He said the revenue recovered represents a 92% increase from the 126 billion naira recorded in quarter 1 of 2023. Oyetola said the ministry has achieved a ramp-up of revenue to the government in the last year and is poised to do more. On improving the sector's revenue throughout the year, Oyetola said the ministry has commenced the rollout of some initiatives, such as the commissioning of revenue enhancement studies focused on the ministry, its departments and agencies. He said the objective is to identify and block leakages while identifying recommendations to expand current revenue sources. At number 8, sacked Burundian Prime Minister Alain Julien Bunyoni has appeared in court to appeal his conviction on charges including attempting to overthrow the government. Once one of the most powerful regime figures, Bunyoni was Prime Minister from mid-2020 until September 2022 when he was fired, days after President Evariste Ndayishimiye had warned of an alleged coup plot against him. He was sentenced in December to life in prison on a raft of charges including plotting to topple the constitutional regime as well as using witchcraft to threaten the president's life, undermining national security, destabilizing the economy, and illegal enrichment. The army general had pleaded not guilty to all counts and said he should be acquitted because of a lack of evidence. The prosecution has also launched an appeal asserting that Bunyoni's sentence was too light in terms of fines and confiscation of assets. At number 9, Nigeria's representative at the ongoing 2024 Basketball Africa League, Rivers Hoopers, achieved the historic feat of reaching their first ever semi-final at the tournament after earning a tough 92-88 victory over former BAL champions US Monastir of Tunisia in the quarterfinals. Rivers Hoopers went into the quarterfinal encounter on the back of consecutive defeats against US Monastir in the final game of the Sahara Conference and AS Douanes from Senegal during the qualification round at the BAL playoffs in Kigali, Rwanda. Both Rivers Hoopers and the US Monastir had met on 3 separate occasions prior to the quarterfinal encounter. US Monastir defeated Rivers Hoopers during the maiden edition of BAL, while both teams recorded 1 win each from their meetings at this year's Sahara Conference. And at number 10, Spain, Ireland, and Norway officially recognized a Palestinian state on Tuesday, prompting an angry reaction from Israel, which has found itself increasingly isolated after more than 7 months of conflict in Gaza. Madrid, Dublin, and Oslo say they sought to accelerate efforts to secure a ceasefire in Israel's war with Hamas in Gaza. The 3 countries say they hope their decision will spur other European Union countries to follow suit. The move means 146 of the 193 member states of the United Nations now recognize a Palestinian state. Spanish Foreign Minister José Manuel Alvarez has said the Palestinian Authority, which exercises limited self-rule in the West Bank under Israeli military occupation, has welcomed this decision. Sanchez said Madrid will also recognize any changes to pre-1967 borders unless agreed to by both parties. That's it on what's happening. Thanks for watching.